Alrighty guys, so you know what is next to me. This is the all-new 2021 GMC Yukon. Not just any of them though, this is the fully loaded Denali Ultimate Yukon. And what we're going to be doing today is a night review of it. So we're going to look at the exterior lights, nighttime, see all the cool ambient lights and all the cool features that they've thrown in. And if you want to check out our full review, one's going to be posted on the channel, so be sure to check that out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so starting out, we want to see what it looks like when you walk up to the vehicle at nighttime. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have like approach lighting or whatnot. You have to get the Escalade for that. But when we unlock the vehicle, let's go ahead and check out the exterior lights. As you can see, when I unlock it, the headlights go ahead and turn on. The mirrors are going to fold out. We have puddle lamps on the mirrors. And then the coolest part, look at these LED light strip across the entire running board. This illuminates stuff very well, and I have to say, pretty useful when it's icy outside like today. But now let's go ahead and get inside and get her fired up so we can check out the lights at night. Gotta love that V8. Well guys, this is the exterior of the Yukon Denali, very, very distinct, and you're even going to see this chrome grille at nighttime. You cannot hide it. If there's any light at all, it's going to be reflecting off this big chrome grille. But let's talk about these headlights, since these are probably the coolest thing you're going to see up in the front. So these, of course, are fully LED headlights. Every individual element is LED, including the turn signal, the daytime running light, and each of the LED headlights. So as you can see, it has a three stacked LEDs, and then if we drop down to here, you'll notice we also have LED fog lights. And I do want to point out that this is the only one of the GM triplet SUVs that are going to have LED fog lights. All right, so as far as the mirrors are concerned, these are fully loaded. Of course, they're going to be power folding and all that. We also have a turn signal indicator right here, and I do also want to point out that they're also auto dimming, so the cars behind you aren't going to be blinding you at nighttime. But now let's go ahead and walk around to the rear. Just like the front, it's going to be comprised of a lot of LEDs as well as a lot of bold style. So of course, we do have the signature bracket LED taillights, similar to what you're going to find in the front. It kind of mimics it, and every component in here is also LED, including the reverse light. And I do also want to point out that your license plate lighting is also LED. And drop down here, look at this. We have GMC illuminated in the ground, and this is actually to indicate where you can kick to open the tailgate. Alrighty, so getting in this Yukon Denali, you know it's a special place to spend time because you're immediately greeted by a really luxurious cabin. As you'll see in our full review, you can check out all the details, but as far as what it does at nighttime, as you can see, the gauges had a little animation there, as well as the large display here in the middle. And you'll notice that we do have LED lighting illuminating everything inside. But let's go ahead and start it up. Alrighty. And once it boots up, you are going to have a lot of lights. GMC does a really good job of illuminating this cabin. So let's go ahead and break it down. All right, guys, so we're going to start out with the headlights. Now, of course, like I mentioned up in the front, these are fully LED. And as you can see, they're very, very bright. You don't have to worry about them not being bright. But I do also want to point out the head-up display. As you can see, we have a very large head-up display. Right now, it's just displaying the speed as well as the speed limit. But you can also configure it to show a lot more. I do also want to point out the high beams. So as you can see, I'm illuminating this building a lot right now, and very, very bright high beams. Now coming back, we know about the gauges here. So unfortunately, we're not going to get like a fully digital gauge cluster like we would in the Escalade. However, this is still a very nice digital display. We have a large 7-inch multifunction display here in the middle, as well as the analog gauges on both sides. Now coming back, we do have illumination for all of your buttons on the steering wheel, including for the steering wheel heating. Then off to the left side, all these buttons are also illuminated in a nice white color. This is for your headlight controls, your four-wheel drive controls, as well as a lot of your safety systems, your head-up display, and your power, your trailer brake controller. some competition
That's
here.
what it is. Trying to be out bougie.
They are. They are. We got
the illuminated front emblem.
I know.
Is that
Wow.
a black label?
It is a black label. So go ahead and talk about this center area. Now, of course, all of your climate controls are illuminated, as well as your heated and ventilated seat controls. The climate has both the red as well as the blue. And then heading up to our shifter. This is the electronic style shifter. This is, of course, illuminated. You need to see it at nighttime. And then going into reverse, here's your camera. This is a really, really high resolution camera display. I have no complaints whatsoever. As you can see, the 360 view still works really good at nighttime. And this is even with a bunch of salt on it. Now going up, we do have a rear camera mirror. You can also just make it a regular mirror if you would prefer that, but it is also auto dimming. And then up here at the top, these are all of your controls for, here's your HomeLink garage door openers, as well as the moonroof. That is a panoramic one. Now all of your interior lighting is also LED, but I do want to point out this button right here. This is a pretty cool trick that this one has that a lot of the early build Yukons don't have. This right here. If we push it, look at this. Check this out. The whole center console slides back. And that does allow you to have more space up here in the front, as well as closer cup holders in the back. So that is kind of a dual purpose, and it's pretty neat that they do offer that. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and hop in the rear seat because I know they have a lot of lighting back there. And more bouginess continues here in the rear of the Yukon Denali. Now, I honestly think I'm almost overwhelmed. There's so much lights back here. We have LED lights on the roof, of course, and as far as your window switches and all that, that's also illuminated. But you're probably noticing these dual 12.6-inch rear seat entertainment screens. These are massive, and they're really quite neat for a rear seat entertainment system. They have a touchscreen ability, and you can also use the wireless headphones, but they definitely work to illuminate the rear quite well. Now, as far as here in the center, we have our cup holders. Then we have all of our climate controls as well as our heated seats. And all of these are illuminated, including your power outlets. And then, if we check out the third row, we can fold it by doing that. And then lifting it out of the way. And then sitting back here, they didn't even forget about the illuminations back here. We still have some really bright LED lights, as well as our lighted USB ports. And finally, let's talk about this cargo department. Like I alluded to earlier, you do have the GMC illumination here on the ground. That actually is not just to be cool, it's to where you're supposed to wave your foot to open up the power tailgate. So that's quite neat and shows up really nice on the black concrete. Now, as far as in the cargo department, you probably already know by now, it's LED illuminated. They have LED lights absolutely everywhere. They're back here as well. And if you haven't watched our full review, there's a lot more space in this all-new Yukon, so you're going to have a lot of space to haul anything you want. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this night review of the all-new 2021 GMC Yukon Denali. We hope you enjoyed watching, and as I alluded to throughout this entire video, there's a full review that covers even the most minute details on the channel, so go check that out. We also have a night POV drive as well as a regular POV drive, so all the Yukon content you could ever want is on the channel, so be sure to check that out and also subscribe.